Yeah, so you saw the title. You know what this is. So yeah, I've never read Twilight, which is very strange considering the fact that I'm 24 and I was about 11, like I was in the ages of like 10 and 12 when this book series became a very big thing. And the reason why I don't know is because the first time I ever heard about Twilight was, I think like New Moon had either like just come out, or like a bunch of the girls in my class, that was the book they were on. And I just remember one of my teachers in elementary school, like I had her for a teacher, I just don't know what year this was, but it was between the ages of 10 and 12, grade 5 to grade 7. I'll never forget this. She like pulled all of us out of gym class and all the boys were like in the gym playing like hockey or something, and like I was sitting in a circle with all of these girls, and then my teacher just leans forward and goes like, so like what do you think about Bella trying to kill herself over Edward this book? And I was like, what is this? And that was how I learned about Twilight. I did try to read the books. I stopped. I think like I just stopped and I just kind of like threw it against the wall because I was like, I was a pretty big reader as a kid, still am a very big reader, and so like I don't know, nothing about the first like 3 chapters, like I'm assuming that's how far I got, like I didn't get very far, nothing about those first few chapters appealed to me whatsoever. Editing tie here, I don't know like what I was on when I filmed this section of the video, but like I feel like I kind of left out some important parts. One, I gave up on Twilight, never really thought about it again. Like I was like, okay, clearly this is not the thing I will be connecting with my peers over. Like I didn't think about Twilight for like years, and like, you know, it passed and then like no one thought about it again. And then like, I don't know, like 4 months ago I was like walking home and I walked past one of those street libraries that cities have and neighborhoods have. If you have, I'll put a picture of one right here, and I like look in them sometimes, and I saw Twilight and I was like, oh, content. I thought it'd be fun if I did this as a reading vlog because the Twilight people had it right. Stephenie Meyer was the female author to support. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to crack open this and we're gonna see what happens. My goal is to read like 2 to 5 chapters every single day. I have no idea how long the chapters are. This book is about 500 pages long, so I don't know, that's like 100 pages a day, which sounds like a lot, but I'm a pretty fast reader, so yeah. Okay. I swear to God, somebody on earth does not want me to read this book because I have been attempting to put aside the time to do it for like the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maybe this is proof that like God does actually in fact exist because they don't want me to read this. But you know what? I'm gonna read it today. I'm gonna start reading it today because this book can't hurt me that much, can it? Okay, let's read. Alright, we're going to do this. Okay. Why am I always doing laundry when I shoot these videos? I love how there's a copy of Pride and Prejudice literally like right under my tripod. Like, look at this. I can feel it staring at me. I'm so sorry, Jane Austen. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's do this. I knew that Stephenie Meyer was like religious. I think she's Mormon, right? I did not realize that she was put a Bible quote in your book about vampires religious. Anyway, yeah, okay. Let's preface. Okay. I hate how I remember, like, I've read this book before, part of this book, and I remember the preface, and I remember it was like, oh, this sounds good. Okay. So far, Bella is moving to Forks where it rains a lot. Ooh, I wonder where that's gonna come in later. Speckles. Leaving her mom behind, and she's moving to her dad Charles's house. I think My Immortal has influence here, you know, she's ivory skinned and that's it, that's the only thing, she's ivory skinned. So clearly I'm guessing that Stephenie Meyer took influence from My Immortal. I'm sorry. My plain black jacket didn't stand out, I noticed with relief. Are plain black jackets like was that like a thing that was like super uncommon wait, when was this published? In 2000. So like, was that a thing that was like not, was that like an uncommon thing to have a plain black jacket in 2005? Okay. Black is not like an unpopular an unpopular color as far as I'm aware, or shade, I guess. So like, why would that stand out? It's a jacket. It's a plain black jacket. Like, why? I'm so confused by that line. Maybe like plain black jackets were like really like unpopular in the early 2000s. Like, were they? Edward is here. This fucking book, it's already pissing me off. This girl's already pissing me off. So, we are through chapter 1. So far, we have learned that Bella has moved to Forks because she wants to get away from her mom for some reason. And she already, I can feel like the not like other girls pick me vibes I get off this character. Like, so far she reads, what else, she likes to read, and also like a lot of different boys are taking notice of her. I think she's gotten like 2 different boys talking to her that she doesn't like. And then she sees Edward Cullen, who for some reason doesn't like her, which I'm sure that's not going to come up later, and that's chapter 1. And he tries to switch out of biology, which, ooh, oh no, the pretty boy. But it's hilarious because I can pinpoint the exact moment I stopped reading this frickin' book 10 years ago. And it was, or actually it was like 13 years ago, which is illegal. So basically Bella is at school and like a bunch of people are taking interest in her, and she goes to the cafeteria and she sits down and she's talking like to these people and learning their names, and she goes, "We sat at the end of a full table with several of her friends." Like, this girl decides to introduce her to her friends. I forget all of their names as soon as she spoke them. They seemed impressed by her bravery in speaking to me. Screw you, Bella. Screw you. Because as an 11-year-old girl who did not have friends, that was like, actually screw you. Alright, gonna grab it from its place of shame. Alright. We continue. Into chapter 2 we go. Okay, so Edward is being nice to her after he was gone for a few days. And it seems that Bella, the reason why she moved to Forks is because her mom got remarried, which I kind of figured. She also really likes books that keep talking about Wuthering Heights, which I think is an interesting choice. Oh, and she hates snow. Oh, cats. And she's very clumsy. Yeah, and Edward's being nicer to her for some reason than he was the last chapter, which I wonder why. Okay, I just finished chapters 3 and 4. I have a couple of thoughts. Okay, first one. So, So basically Bella has started to notice weird things about Edward. So like the fact that his eyes change color for some reason, and she's like, oh my god, why does his eyes change color? Also, like, Edward saves her when he like jumps in front of a car and like pushes her out of the way, and that like caused like a big argument between them. And like, so basically Bella and Edward like start talking. They hadn't really talked before, and I swear to god they have the exact same conversation like 3 times. Oh Bella, we can't be friends, it's too dangerous. We can't. I'm just sitting here. Like, why? Every time it goes exactly the same. Also, she continues to like be like noticed by boys, and girls are starting to not like her because, you know, teenagers, I guess. And she doesn't understand. I don't understand what it is about this girl that's so, like, I get that she's like new and it's a small town, and like, I get it. I grew up in a small town, but like, I fail to comprehend like why she's so interesting to like these 3 people. Anyway, so basically, but Bella is basically, there's a dance coming up, and Bella like it gets asked out like twice, and she's starting to get really annoyed. And there's like this fantastic moment. I don't care. This is funny. I'm sure that like a lot of people would read that and be like, that's problematic. I don't care. This is hilarious. I'm like, I would do this. Basically, Bella has been asked out twice by like these boys who keep following her around for some reason. And she's like driving along, and she's stuck behind Edward's car, and a boy like approaches her, like the last one approaches her, and is like, Bella, do you want to go to the dance? And she's like, oh no, I don't want to go to the dance. Okay, Tyler, or wait, what's his name? Yes, it is. Oh my god, it is Tyler. I'm impressed with myself. I don't remember the other one's names, but I remember Tyler. It's probably because I'm also Ty. And then later, Edward admits to the fact that he literally stopped the car to trap her there. Wait. Edward, do you have a personality? That's not allowed. That's illegal. That is what we call subverting expectations. George R. R. Martin, take a seat. Oh, also, Bella is like, her whole thing is like she's very clumsy, which like, of course she is. Like, she, you know, she's not like other girls, and she was created in 2005. And there's this weird moment where her dad asks her like why she's not going to this dance that everyone's been, all the boys have been asking her to. Her answer is, no, I don't dance, Dad. He, of all people, should understand that I didn't get my balance problems from my mother. Isn't he like a policeman? A policeman with balance problems? I already don't trust the police enough with guns. Like, are you telling me that he has a gun and he's clumsy? Because I've been reading about this girl for 81 pages so far, and let me tell you, okay, I am extremely distrustful of a person with that kind of balance issues that has a gun. You know? And basically, Edward and Bella are kind of friends, and she's noticed weird things about him. That's the important information that you need to know. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading now. Okay, where's the book? Where did I leave the book? I had the book. Oh, there's the book. Okay. I'm just getting my notes. So I've read chapter 5. Okay. Basically, so in the chapter, Bella gets sick and she passes out due to blood, and it's like this whole like thing, and she's like, oh my god, it's blood, I'm scared of blood. I'm just like, that's not gonna be a problem later, because I don't know what this book is about. So the first thing I want to note here is that she just does everything he says. Like, there's no pushback, there's no fight back, nothing. Like, where's the spark? Where's the fight? Where's like the passion in this relationship? She just does it. Like, it feels like any second now he's just going to ask her to speak, and she's gonna go woof, and then Jacob will come running and asking if she called. And it's like, yeah, it's just like he's just constantly like hot and cold with her. And it's like, why do you keep doing what he says if like he's not giving you valid attention? Like, make him work for it a little bit, sweetheart. Like, come on. Or like, there's like a line, where is it? I'm gonna find where it is. Oh yeah, he also claims that he's giving up trying to stay away from her, which, like, good job, you tried so hard. Like, Jesus, okay. Where is it? Okay, here it is, okay. So basically, he's trying to get her to, like, tell him theories that she has about like what he is. And Bella is basically just like, was he a hypnotist too? Or was I just a helpless pushover? You're a pushover, Bella. You're a pushover. Like, yeah, you're a pushover. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'm starting to get seriously concerned with like the amount of times this little girl falls over. Like, there is like falling over, and then there's like the amount of times this girl falls over. Like, I'm sorry, girl, if you are like falling down just walking to the beach multiple times, I'm worried there's something wrong with like your vestibular system or something. And yes, I looked that word up to impress you guys. Vestibular system. Vestibular system. Okay, so like Jacob is here, right? And it's like, but like basically, so Jacob is like sitting there and with Bella and talking, and then one of the girls who doesn't like Bella says to Bella, "Oh, Bella, don't you wish the Cullens had come?" And then like another friend of Jacob is like, "The Cullens aren't welcome here." And I'm just like, subtlety, what is that? And then Bella like flirts with Jacob to get him to tell her the story of whatchamacallit, the story of like the vampires and like why the Cullens aren't invited there, like for real. Gives in like so fast. Like he just like immediately tells her like no problem, like no like fight, nothing, like just like, I'm just gonna tell you and that's it. Like I'm just like, wait, what? And it's kind of implied that like Jacob doesn't know that this like is real. But the thing is that like if you had like a very big family secret, wouldn't you just wait until your kid is old enough to tell them the full truth rather than telling them like the half truth, like the myth of the story? Because then he's not going to take it seriously, right? Then Bella basically just like goes home and decides to like search for vampires. There's this great moment, like but I'm just gonna grab it. 133. I dressed slowly in my most comfy sweats and then made my bed, something I never did. I couldn't put it off any longer. I went to my desk and switched on my old computer. I hated using the internet here. My modem was sadly outdated, my free service substandard. Just dialing up took so long that I decided to go get myself a bowl of cereal while I waited. I ate slowly, chewing each bite with care. When I was done, I washed the bowl and spoon, dried them, and put them away. My feet dragged as I climbed the stairs. I went to my CD player first, picking it up off the floor and placing it precisely in the center of the table. I pulled out my headphones and put them away in the desk drawer. Then I turned the same CD on, turned it down to the point where it was background noise. Like, me when I'm trying to reach a certain word count, like that is so many details for like something that could have just like been like one sentence or easily could have just been taken out. Like, I killed the time by going to get cereal and then I came back. I needed that much detail to just talk about you waiting for your internet to load. Because I don't care about your internet, Bella. Edward just got weird about food, and it's like, there you are, Christian Grey. Jesus. Okay, so let's chat. There's my phone for my notes. Okay, so I've read through chapter 8 to chapter 12, and so basically what has happened so far is, I can't remember. Bella goes to another town nearby and she gets cornered by a group of men. Like, I'm not even joking. She gets cornered by a group of men and they're like chasing her, and I'm just like, this is subtle. I wonder what's going to happen next. And then Edward shows up and he saves her. And there's a whole thing where he's like, oh, it's taking me everything I have in me not to go back there and kill them. And Bella's like, so anyway, so finally in chapter 9, he finally confirms to her that he is a vampire. And I was reading like the conversation where he confirms it, and I was just thinking to myself, why don't you just take everything interesting about vampires and just completely water it down, Stephanie? Like, hang on, I'm gonna get to the chapter. Don't laugh. How can you come out during the daytime? He laughed anyway. Myth. Burned by the sun. Myth. Sleeping in coffins. Myth. And I'm like, you just took out like the most fun thing about vampires, the coffin thing. Like, I would be so much more attracted to him if he did live in a coffin. That would be an ultimate like upside to me. Jesus. Another thing he also is like, so basically she's like, how old are you? And he says, I'm 17. And it's like, how long have you been 17? And like he says like, a while, whatever that means. And I just immediately thought to myself, okay, so Edward, like, I'm assuming he looks 17, as in he looks younger than 21, which is like the drinking age. Does that mean that Edward can't buy a beer? Like, I know that like he can get like a fake ID, because fake IDs do work, but at the same time, like, I'm assuming he probably does have a fake ID, but he also keeps going to high school. My point is that because Edward lives in such a small town and everybody would know him, as a result, he wouldn't be able to buy alcohol with a fake ID because everyone would just recognize him on sight, which I think would be very annoying. And then he jokes about how the fact that he's like vegetarian, and it's like, but I'd compare it to living on tofu and soy milk. Edward Elric? No, not Edward Elric. Edward Cullen can't cook. Like, would Edward even know what tofu is? Or have he even tried tofu if he was like a white boy from like the early 1900s? I don't see it happening. Another thing I really quickly noticed is that he's so condescending towards her. Like, he's like, he keeps saying this line. It's like, I can't believe you're still alive. You're like a danger. And it's like, it's so condescending. Like, I'm just like, I get it, okay? She has like some issue with balance. Like, way too much issue with balance, but like, whatever. And then at the end of chapter 9, and they've like, I haven't counted the amount of conversations they've had. I think it's like 5. I think they've had like maybe 2 full like on conversations, and the other ones have just been like very brief. She says, about 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally, irrevocably in love with him. Bella, are you okay? Like, it's like, I read that and it's like, are you okay? Like, what's going on, girl? Whatever's happening, we can get you help. Okay, chapter 10. So chapter 10, he like drives her to school, and it's like this whole thing where it's like, oh my god, drive me to school. So they have lunch together, and Bella's like, oh my god, I can't believe you like me. And Edward's like, of course I like you, Bella. You're Bella. Okay. Again, you guys have talked 5 times. 6 times now. Congratulations. They just keep having like these conversations of like, you know, oh, back and forth, blah, 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 blah. What's your favorite song artist? Who's your mom? What's your mom like? Blah, 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 blah. It's such uninteresting stuff. Like, absolutely. Especially since like pretty much almost every single thing that like we could learn about Bella, like they brush over it like it's no big deal. He questioned me relentlessly about every insignificant detail of my existence. Movies I'd liked and hated, the few places I'd been, and the many places I wanted to go, and books. Endlessly books. I would love to have like some of those details for myself to give this girl, because all I know so far is that her favorite color is brown and she pretends to like Jane Austen. There's also like this really annoying part where I just want to talk about this part really quick here. I'm curious, I said as I picked up an apple, trying it around in my hand. What would you do if someone dared you to eat? He's always curious, he grimaced, shaking his head. And then the next line is like, if someone dared you to eat dirt, you couldn't you? He asked condescendingly. So like, what does that mean? Does that mean that like it will stay in his stomach? Does that mean that like, I'm so confused. Also, I'm just gonna say it, Bella is like a cow. Like, she's so mean to like everyone around her. Her friends who like apparently aren't good friends with her. But like, for example, like Mike, the guy that like has a crush on her but like is now dating her friend Jessica, he has every right to be worried. Like, your friend Mike is allowed to be worried about you because he's your friend, and Edward Cullen is a fucking weirdo. Chapter 10. There's like this really cute conversation, and I'll give them credit, okay? It's cute. We're like, she's like, oh my god, you hunt bears? And like, she's like, my favorite is mountain lion. I'll give you that. Like, that's kind of cute. Like, you know. Okay, let's start to read. Oh yeah, and also he's standing in the sun. They've gone on a hike and he's standing in the sun. It's like, oh my god, I wonder what's gonna happen. Ooh. Bella's like only thought about Edward is how pretty he is. Like, that's it. He deserves better than that. He deserves to be appreciated for the one time he showed personality. What did Jessica do to these people? Jesus, be nice to Jessica. Like, Like, Edward is just like, I listened to your friend Jessica to, like, listen up to your thoughts, which she's asked him not to do, by the way. And he's like, her mind isn't very original, and it was annoying to have to stoop to that. Ugh. Gross. Crusty man. Again, she's just, like, gotten rid of, like, all of the fun things about being a vampire. Like, he doesn't even turn into a bat. That's not fair. They kissed. Whoa. They have the chemistry of cardboard. Like, they kissed, and it's like, oh, his cold marble lips. And I'm just like, that's attractive. Oh god, we got to the "you spied on me at night" part. I'm so done with this character. Oh my god. Oh my god. They told each other they loved each other. What do you know about each other? Nothing. We've had the same conversation like 20 times now. Just a whole bunch of like, too dangerous, not dangerous enough. Do 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 do. So boring. You know nothing about each other. Every single thing you know about each other is superficial. I don't even get the sense that you get along that well. You just stare at each other and it's weird. She's going to meet the Cullens, apparently. Edward says to Bella, it's like, oh, you're not scared because it's a house full of vampires. You're scared because you think that the vampires won't like you. And she's like, that's right. And he's like, you're incredible. And it's like, no, she's a dumbass. Get it right. Okay, so what have I cannot tell you a thing that happened in the last 5 chapters. So basically Bella and Edward go to the forest and he steps into the sun and he sparkles and it's like, oh my god, you sparkle. And he does all these dangerous things, like, you know, he brags about how much he wants to like drink her blood, and I'm just like, congratulate. They've had the same like conversation like 12 times. Speed it up. Like, it's just like a copy of the same conversation of like, I can't be with you because I'm too dangerous. And Bella's like, no. And he's like, I'm too dangerous. And Bella's like, no. And it's like, Bella's an idiot. And anyway, he throws trees around and stuff. And it's like, I get it. He's dangerous. Edward tells her about his family. And then they kiss. And it was like, ugh. And then she finds out that he's been watching her sleep, which I think it's really hit me about Edward, is that the issue with Edward, he doesn't feel dangerous. He just feels creepy. Anyway, so Edward decides to take her to his family's house because, you know, I stand by the fact that Carlisle is like a way more interesting character and he actually sounds interesting. And she just keeps getting annoyed with people being worried about her. Like Billy Black, who like has genuine reasons for being concerned, and she's just like, yeah, whatever, it's none of your business. And it's like, yes, it is his business. Because he knows, you dumbass. I can't believe the fact that Bella just said, like, it's none of your business to Billy, and that worked. I can't believe. I would be so much more impressed with this book if she was scared of him. If she was like actually like scared of him. Like that was like the lowest of what I was expecting. I don't even know what chapter we're on anymore. All I know is that they're going to play a baseball game. You figure out what chapter that is. Dun dun dun, there's more vampires. Oh, I'm so scared. Oh my god. I'm kind of being an asshole, aren't I? Okay, see, these vampires feel dangerous. Like, I'm feeling danger, okay? This is what I was looking for, okay? I want... Maybe I should ship, like, Lauren and Bella. Or what was the other one? James. I don't know. God, I have a terrible taste in bed. Someone write that fanfic. Also, Laurent, fabulous name. I'm into it. Okay, we're on chapter 20. So it's kind of heated up. Somebody showed up and was like, we're gonna hunt Bella. And that's it. Like, so the entire reason that this person is going after Bella is because Edward wants her. It's getting more interesting, but not by much. I'm not even making notes anymore. I'm just, like, I don't have anything to say. Like, it's just... Wait, Bella recognizes a ballet studio, and Alice and Jasper don't? Have they never been inside a dance studio? Like, I feel like a dance studio is, like they've seen movies, haven't they? Like, I think most people would be able to recognize a dance studio. Okay, so Bella slips away from Jasper and the other one. The one who isn't Allison? Annie? Yeah, whatever. She runs away from them, and it's, like, kind of hilarious how easily she just, like, slips away. Like, they're vampires. They can smell her. They have super speed. Like, wouldn't they, like, immediately know what she was up to? Wouldn't they? He picked the ballet studio because it was cinematic. A true artist. I get you. I get you, boo. I get you. This is the one character I relate to in this entire book. That is so boring. Literally, she just passes out. And then there's, like, 3 pages where Edward sucks out the venom that... Apparently, because the guy... She passes out. And then she wakes up to, like, Edward being awake and sucking out the venom. That's... What? Oh my god. Like, I'm kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of furious. I'm kind of mad about this. I'm just... Okay. It's been a couple of minutes. I'm still recovering. So let's finish this. Okay. So he ate her out. Oh my god. What the hell is this? Don't I taste as good as I smell? I smiled in response. Even better. Better than I'd imagined. Okay, so her and Edward basically just are in the hospital and arguing over whether or not he should turn her into a vampire. And it's like, it's such a non-argument because you know that she's going to turn into a vampire. It's such a flimsy argument. Like, Jesus. Like, again. I feel like there's just like, what is the downside to being a vampire? What, you think of yourself as a monster? Like, you found a way around that, Edward. Congratulations. I'm so sorry. The man got you to dress up in a beautiful dress and a tux, and you were so, like, out of it that you didn't notice that it was the same day as the prom until some moron shows up that says, I'm taking you to the, like Bella's so stupid. Oh my god. She dumb. I'm so sorry. Bella thought that the reason why Edward dressed her up was because he was going to change her. Oh, the audacity of this girl. Oh my god. We're done. Okay, I have some thoughts. I'm gonna, like, wait a little bit, but wow, that was a very interesting experience. Let's, yeah. I think 12-year-old me made the right choice. Okay, hi. All right, so it's been a couple of days since I finished it, and I have a couple of thoughts, but first off, I'm going to really quickly summarize, like, last, like, couple of chapters because I feel like I just didn't do a good enough job in the original. So first off, so Bella is watching Edward and his family play baseball in a thunderstorm, and then couple vampires show up that aren't like good vampires, and one of them decides to hunt her for reasons. Like, I always this was weird to me because, like, I always assumed that, like, when I heard about Twilight from the outside, I always assumed that Bella had, like, really special blood, you know? Like, something about her blood just, like, made vampires go crazy, and she had to work together with Edward to stay safe. Like, I always assumed that was what Twilight was about, and now I just find out that, like, no, it's just the vampire wants to hunt Bella because she's important to Edward. So basically, Bella gets the help of Edward and his family, and they all work together to protect her. But then Bella gets a phone call from her mother and the vampire that's holding her mother hostage, and she realizes that she needs to go protect her mother by herself. And so she does that, and then she realizes it's a trap. Like, I was like on board for this. I was like totally excited. I was like, this is it, this is it, this is it. And then Bella gets attacked and passed out. And the next time that she wakes up, she's woken up and Edward is like sucking her blood. And I just was like sitting there going, are you serious? And then she passes out again, winds up in a hospital, and she and Edward have the exact same argument they've been having the entire book, which is that, you know, Edward's too dangerous. In terms of like my general like thoughts, meh. Not the worst book I've ever read, but also like not a good book. I feel like if I had wound up pushing through when I was about like 11 or 10 or however old I was when I first started reading it, I don't think I would have enjoyed it. Because I'm not like other girls. Like, I don't know. I feel like I went in with pretty low expectations. And I would say that my expectations were met, but I can't decide if, like, that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think I went in just, like, expecting a really basic, boring vampire romance, and that's what I got. I have a couple of thoughts. The first one is, like, you know, I think this book could have been, like, way shorter than it was. Like, it was about, like, 200 pages too long because so much of it is just Edward and Bella arguing back and forth about whether or not they should be together or whether or not Bella should be near Edward. Like, basically the same deal over and over and over and over and over again, and it got very tiring after a while. I also just wish that Bella had been like a more engaged protagonist, because now she just kind of like sits around and mopes about Edward. Like, she doesn't feel like she's doing anything throughout this book. Like, I just feel like the conflict could have been amped up just like a tad. And then I would say this is probably my biggest criticism, is that the appeal behind like these vampire romances, like monster romance, is that the love interest feels dangerous, and at no point whatsoever does Edward feel dangerous. At no point whatsoever was I was like, oh yeah, Edward could lose control and kill Bella and suck out all of her blood. Like, even when he was sucking her blood, I was like, she's gonna be fine. Like, there was no tension in that regard. I think this could have been easily fixed. Like, what if Edward like had actually attacked those men who were following her in like the middle in the street? Like, I just think there were ways to make him feel more dangerous, and like none of those opportunities were ever taken. Like, comparing him to like 50 Shades of Grey, because that's what I was thinking of as I was reading this. Like, I don't like Christian Grey either, but you cannot deny that throughout the books he feels dangerous. Like, he feels like he's a control freak. He feels freaky and scary, and that's kind of the appeal behind it, is that people want to feel that thrill as they're reading something. I could do a whole video on that, honestly. I also just don't understand like the system by which these vampires live. Like, the whole concept of these vampires moving into a new town, and the kids go to school while the dad works at a clinic, and the kids are, and then Edward says something like, the younger we say we are, the longer we can stay in one place. The thing is, I don't think that's true. Like, look at anyone at the age of 17 and like, let's say like 22, and they're going to look different. Like, so like if I met someone when they were 17 and they didn't change it slightly in appearance, in like even just like 2 years, I'm going to be really suspicious. So I don't follow that logic. And another thing is periods. I know Stephanie pulled out some, I'm just gonna say, a BS excuse for why the vampires don't like period blood. It has something to do with like it's not straight from the vein, um, which really just makes them sound like snobs. I don't accept that reasoning, mostly because you know what? Bella deserves that during her time of the month. She deserves a good time during her time of the month. Also, just like the entire concept of them going to high school is just so stupid. I'm not even going to mince my words there. It's so stupid. Like you could just say, yeah, I have a couple of kids and they go to homeschool. Like that's such an easy fix. They don't need to be surrounded by a whole bunch of teenagers, kids, because like what if one of them lose control one day? How are they going to explain that? Anyway, because Edward's alone in his classroom, so that implies that like other times his siblings are like alone in their classroom, so who's going to stop them if they lose control? This, I've put in way too much thought into this. And finally, this is more like just like a general observation more than anything else. I've been reading like books since I was 7. I love to read. I've already read like 4 books this year, and not including Twilight. And I like reading. You can follow. Trying to start using Goodreads more. If you want to follow me down in the description box, but I like to read, and I like to read, and like this is more like a general observation that I've seen among books similar to like in the same vein of Twilight, which is that the main character always loves to read, but the thing is that I never get the sense that she actually likes reading, like, and especially since like the classics are almost always brought up, like in the After series, Tessa and Hardin's relationship is compared to Darcy and Elizabeth's, which is a very strange comparison. And the same thing happens in Twilight. Bella compares Edward to the guy from Sense and Sensibility, I think. My point is that you've got these women writing these incredibly toxic and weird relationships and then comparing them to well-written, healthy, famous romances, almost like a weird flex. Like we're like Darcy and Elizabeth flex. I don't know how to describe it, but the thing is that the way that these new romances are written makes me wonder if the authors have even read the old romances. I don't know. Again, this is just a theory. I'm not saying that like Meyer has never read Austen. Like I don't read her work and think to myself, oh yeah, this is a person who is influenced a lot by classic romantic literature. Anyway, Edward is an incredibly creepy weirdo. Bella is a doorknob who likes to read, apparently. This book was 400 pages of Bella and Edward having a strange conversation about whether or not they should be together, and 100 pages of actually interesting stuff that actually winded up in me being disappointed. Was it the worst book I ever read? No, not even close. And anyway, I had a good time. Anyway, I'm Takira. I forgot to say this at the beginning of the video, but I wanted this video to exist. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.